I'm Mona Santana. This is my daily gratitude list where I list and talk about 5 things I'm grateful for that hopefully you can relate to as well. Number 1, I am grateful for the right to change my mind. Sometimes I change my mind because I have learned new information, and so then of course I'm going to change my mind. I don't like to be dogmatic about things because sometimes you learn new things and you should change your mind. And I also mean it in the sense that your mind is malleable and you have neural plasticity. So if there's something that you have learned that you don't like, learn a new thing, and then you can stop doing the thing that you don't like, you know? So I like the fact that we have the capacity to change our minds, figuratively and literally. So I am grateful for that. Number 2, I'm grateful for quinoa. I eat quinoa a lot. As a person who eats mostly plant-based foods, I find that quinoa is actually something that I cannot live without because it's a complete protein. That's what I was trying to say. I think that quinoa is actually delicious too because you can kind of make it taste like anything you want, and I really love the texture. It's like crunchy, it kind of like pops or something, and like, I don't know, has a really distinctive kind of quality to it, and I love quinoa. A lot of people don't like it because they're like, oh, it's like bird food, and I'm like, well, you know, so what? Why not? I mean, so what's wrong with bird food? I like seeds and nuts. So anyway, so I do really appreciate quinoa because I think that it's a pretty unique food, and I do tend to eat it quite a lot. And I find that it brings it's an easier source of protein. So I like it. It's a good thing. Number 3, speaking of which, I'm grateful for supplements. Isn't it amazing if you think about it that you can get any kind of supplement you want? I mean, you know, within reason, over the counter. You can, you know, if you feel like, oh, I need zinc because, you know, my immune system isn't functioning too well, so you can take zinc. That's pretty amazing. You can supplement just about anything these days. You know, they sell them easily over the counter, and I think that it's something we should be grateful for because it wasn't always like that. Like if you had a deficiency with something, you just dealt with it, or you know, you might have died even, you know, like people used to die of scurvy, which is the lack of vitamin C, and now you can just pop vitamin C if you want to, or you know, I just think those are just such commonplace things that maybe we don't appreciate so much. So it's a good idea to focus on things like that, because I find that the more that you realize that you're surrounded with things that are really great, so when maybe things in your life aren't going so well, you're able to be more resilient because your brain is more adapted to being able to see the good in things. And I encourage people to wear their Pollyanna glasses as much as possible. I try to do that. I can't always because I'm a person and sometimes I get upset about things as well, but I find that practicing gratitude makes it so that I'm more resilient, and I default to a more optimistic way of looking at things in the world and life. And so that's why I encourage people to do it, because I find it to be very helpful. So hopefully that's something that works for you as well. Number 4, I'm grateful for the film The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It is one of my all-time favorite films, and I've loved it since I was a child. My dad used to put it on TV and I would watch it, and I would try with all my might not to fall asleep in front of the TV just to catch the very ending of that movie, which to me is literally, it's an epic film. It's not a word I tend to use a whole heck of a lot, but it is appropriate in this case. So The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly to me is the flawless film from start to finish. Plus the music of Ennio Morricone, and the actors in it, Lee Van Cleef and Eli Wallach, and of course Clint Eastwood as the man with no name. I feel like that movie is like brought so much joy into my life. And I also, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was shot in Spain, which leads me to number 5, which is I am grateful for Spain. I chose Spain today because that is the country where my heritage is from, or my ethnicity. I'm Spanish. I was born in the U.S., but my parents are both from Spain, and so, you know, I have to say Spain because I'm grateful for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and it was shot in Spain mostly. The spaghetti westerns were mostly shot in Spain because at the time it was really cheap to film there, and it looked a lot like the American West. So those movies were shot in Spain. I never knew that growing up, and then when I learned that, I thought, wow, that's crazy, because, you know, to me it was just the idea of Spain was always something that I loved, you know, because it was, you know, I heard stories about it all the time, and you know, but there are a lot of really great things that came out of Spain as well. And I'm not trying to be too patriotic or anything like that, because I'm not much of that type of person. But so Spain actually has a lot to offer, like in terms of just being a great country to visit, because it's got this incredible history, and you can still see it in the landscape of Spain and the cities. And of course, I love the flamenco and the music and the myriad influences that basically shaped the culture of Spain as we know it today. And so, you know, that's something I am grateful for. And even if you're not Spanish, I think you could be grateful for a lot of the artists that came out of Spain, like Picasso and Salvador Dali and Penelope Cruz, who I love. You know, and then of course, the movies of the director Pedro Almodovar, who I love. But so if you're not familiar, you should probably check it out, because he did a lot of really great movies with Penelope Cruz, in fact. And I want to thank you very much for joining me today. And if you have subscribed, thank you. And if you haven't, please do. I would really appreciate it. I hope you're having a lovely day. I'll see you next time. Bye.